What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We have Eris and Eddie here on the YouTube channel today because they wrote $13,880 on just $1,018 on leads. These are self-generated leads, and we're bringing them on here onto the channel today to get kind of like three pieces of advice from them on how you can do the same thing. So, what's going on, Eris? What's going on, Eddie?
What's up, Julian? How you doing, my brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing in the business. I've been really enjoying working closely with you. But we were talking a little bit before the call. I'm curious to learn. You said something that was super powerful a second ago, Eddie. I want to start with you. You said that what was it? You said it better than I did. Treat your business like a business. How did you say?
Yeah, exactly that. Treat your business like a business, and don't take the guesswork out of it. Because you'll be a lot better in the long run. The sooner people realize that. Because coming from me, um, in the previous background that we actually had in the insurance industry, it was much less about focusing on your business, running it like a business, and more so about just shut up and color. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take ownership, take responsibility for where you're at. If you ever want to scale this thing and get it to where you want to be.
I love that you're touching on like that. You said it was really funny. You said shut up and color, because like it's so true. I remember when I was in the business starting out, they were just like write more business, and I was like I'm getting chargebacks, and the answer was write more business, and then I was like I'm still getting more chargebacks, write more business, and then it's like I want to go do I want to write Medicare, and they're like just write more business, and like, but there was always the answer was just basically shut up and color like you're saying. So I want to dive a little deeper into that one particularly, and then I want to hear about what other two, uh, basically frameworks or whatever it is that you guys used to be successful is. But what particularly about like treating your business like a business? It's very vague. Like specifically, what is it that was really a needle mover for you that kind of helped you treat it like a business versus just coloring per se?
Yeah, so one of the areas that I would look at is, like activity, right? Some people, just 9 to 5, if you work that long, right? Some people just say, you know what, I'm just gonna just keep running at this wall, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if well, here's a saying that I always heard, right? Perfect practice makes perfect. A lot of people think that just practicing you'll just get better, but I don't think that's always the case. Because if you go down to the basketball court, right, and you got the worst form in the world, and you constantly hit the back of the backboard, right, you can practice that until the cows come home, right? But if you never have a way to analyze what you're doing to get better, it's kind of going to be like you're just spinning your wheels. So for me in this business, you always want to have an eye on what's going to be the thing that's going to increase your bottom line, right? I mean, because everybody's running a business, right? So the biggest thing is for me is just figuring out, okay, how many leads do you need? How many contacts do you need before you make a sale? How many appointments do you need to have every single day in order to, let's just say, write 30 grand a month personal for that to be not just a pipe dream, but actually a goal and attainable goal, right? So you need to have an eye on those things and not kind of have it be one of those things where it's like you're just leaving it, to chance. Because when you do that, you're in for a rude awakening with
Yeah.
not only your attitude, but also your bank account too. So
No, no joke, no joke. I really liked how you guys were talking. You were talking about like how many contacts you need to make, knowing your numbers, right? It's so important, like knowing your numbers. I remember like when we were first getting connected and talking about numbers and everything. Like it's definitely not the sexiest part of the business, but I feel like that was one of the turning points for where you guys were. I know it was for me, at least in this industry. I don't want to speak for you guys, but like for me in this industry, like knowing our numbers was super, super helpful. I knew like, okay, how many conversations I need to have, how many this, how many that, da, da, da. I was just beating doors up to begin with, right? Just shutting up, coloring, and I was really good at coloring. And then eventually the crayon broke, and I realized I had to actually run a business. And so I think that was super powerful. Thank you for that, Eddie. That was good. That a lot of people, like if you're watching this, that's knowing your numbers is like the biggest quantum leap you'll make in this industry. Outside of figuring out underwriting. So if
Yeah.
you're
Oh yeah.
I know you guys were doing a lot of new stuff. You've just transitioned to being an independent agent and everything. There was something you said before this call as well, Eris,
hmm
that was really powerful. What was it that you told me? This was the second thing that we talked about on the list of the three.
Yeah, so analyzing your business and just realizing that the amount of leads that you're getting in, you just have to, just like Eddie, everything all like comes in together. So like knowing your numbers, analyzing your business so that you pay attention to what's going out and what's coming in. And then also, I think I forgot.
You're staying on schedule and
Oh yeah, that was the first one. Yeah, you said
yeah.
it was the first. Yeah, so just staying on schedule, staying disciplined every day, so that by the end of the week you didn't say, "Oh, I took off 2-3 days, and now what do I have to show for it?" So
Yeah.
Staying on schedule. If you have to take a Sunday off, a half a day or something, do that. Get your breath in, and then just keep going because can't really get a vacation right now.
Yeah, and I want to like, I think it's important to touch on because so many people think that like you've really got to kill yourself in this business. Yeah. It's like what I see. This is what I see typically. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's basically like 0 calls Monday through Thursday. Friday rolls around, no paychecks in. 300 calls Friday, 300 calls Saturday.
Yeah.
New sales, and it's like this constant game of like, it's like I don't know if you guys did tempo runs in the military. I know you guys were in the military. But like when you do like sprints and then you do like a jog, and then you sprint and then you do a jog, and it's like to get your conditioning up and your speed up and athleticism. I used to do this in soccer, and I hated them because it was never predictable, right? You just hear somebody yell, and all of a sudden everybody's sprinting, and you're exhausted.
Yeah.
That's how it feels in business when you just show up on Friday and Saturday to recover from lollygagging around. But like taking the consistent action could be something as simple as $100 a day.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't have to be massive action. It just has to be consistent action. And like committing to what you can do over an extended period of time, I feel like is, at least for me, has been super, super helpful. But that's really powerful
too.
Yeah, you guys are dropping some heat right now. What was the third? There was a third thing that you guys said to me. I know that a lot of people could benefit from like here. I think it was you, Eris. Maybe it was Eddie.
Yeah, they're all mixed up together, but
yeah, both of you chime in. You both got
right. To go back to what you said about staying disciplined also helps with your confidence, because if you're like maybe the first week it may not be the best week for you, but if you just keep going, that second and third week it's going to catch up from what you did 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, delayed gratification. So you can't expect to reap a harvest when you've just sown the seeds. You know what I'm saying? So biblical concept, obviously, everybody's heard some form of that expression at some level or whatever, right? But I feel like just giving yourself time just for that, for your hard work just to come to fruition. I mean, you can't give up on yourself after 2 or 3 days. You have to, you know what I'm saying? You have to let you have to let it happen.
So I think I know what you was gonna say.
What?
Oh. No, that's good. That's good because like realistically, I mean, like this business is a lot of, it's like a lot of you reap what you sow. I know that you guys have posted some sales that have come in from like January's pipeline, March. It's May right now, almost June, and you guys are closing things from months ago. And that's not just because like you guys are cool. It's not just because you guys are nice or funny or anything or whatever it is. I know a lot of times that we can get into this mental frame as salespeople, as business owners, whatever, where we're like, dude, I've opened up shop. Everybody should just come pouring in. Now I sell insurance. I should just, they should just walk in, call me up, whatever. But the fact that you guys are out there day after day, planning your work, working your plan, and watching it come to fruition, like to me is so gratifying and beautiful to watch from a third party perspective. And so like, I'm so inspired by you guys, and I know that there's so many other people that feel that way. So it's really cool to watch, especially how far it's how far we've come in such a small, short time.
Right.
I mean, you guys were doing $60 leads. I remember when I was doing the free leads for 50-point comp. Like it's been such a short time frame there.
I know, right? Yeah, that compound interest adds up, right?
It does. I mean, it's been only what? I think we started working together maybe like
in January.
Yeah, 4 months. And
yeah, barely.
That time, things have changed. It's really cool.
A lot of changes. Change has embraced us.
It embraces everyone. It's just you just got to run towards the storm, not away from it. And
exactly.
Pretty cool.
Exactly.
If let's say I were an agent watching this right now, maybe I'm new, maybe I'm not. I need to make some money this week. maybe I got beat up on the phones. Like, what's one thing that you guys would say as leaders to me on the other side of the screen that I could take away from it, like watching this video? Maybe it's the only thing that I hear you guys say. Like, what is it that you would tell me as leaders to inspire me to continue on and this week?
One thing that I would say, I mean, kind of piggyback on what you were kind of getting to, is I need to make money and all that. Of course, there's a lot of different things. Everybody's got obligations. Everybody's got commitments. Everybody got bills, right? But when you're sitting down with a client, you have to take the focus off of you and put it on them. You can't sell them based on what you have going on. Oh, I need to pay this light bill. No. In order to actually have a solid foundation, a book of business, you have to identify what problems they have, but sell them on the solution to their problem. So if I'm actually giving you a call, Julian, right, and you tell me that obviously you tell me that you want to make sure that, God forbid, anything actually were to happen to you, that your kids are actually in the same neighborhoods, and your spouse, right, she doesn't have to remarry for money. They've already been vulnerable with you about the nightmare, right?
That they never even talked about with their spouse, probably.
Yeah. So many times we think about it, right? But then we, as the general population, like clients, right? Many times we think about the worst that happens, right? But we never get into an open dialogue where somebody's on the other side of that, like questioning, kind of bringing out, like verbalizing our deepest, darkest, worst nightmares, right? So it's up to you as the agent to be,
investigator,
have enough wisdom to say, okay, even though I have my own personal things going on, the only thing that matters is identifying what your prospects, whatever their needs are, what their challenges are, and you providing a solution to actually bridge the gap there. So that would be my number one thing, is take your mind off of you. And I know it's kind of hard to do because you are your most interesting subject. Everybody can say the same thing, right? But when you're on the phone and you have somebody that said that they actually need what it is that you do, you have to really dial in on not just communicating with them, but connecting with them. You know what I'm saying? And providing value. And that's where you get it going. So
that was good.
Yeah. Dude, I think that might have been the best thing you've ever put out there. I'm not even gonna lie. Crazy. I saw somebody say it on today's training that I was leading, is it's about the mission before the commission. I think that kind of packages into like a sentence, like what you were saying. But if you can put their needs before you, that's why I love the question so much. Like, what would that look like? Mm-hmm. So obviously, if you weren't able to get approved for something today, like, what would that look like for your daughter Sarah that you listed here on the application? What would that look like for you? How would that affect her? Is she going to lose the house? Is she going to lose the car? Right? Really diving into what it is that they're like what is actually going to happen, or is it just like, okay, cool, like life insurance, whatever, right? And so I think that's probably the biggest takeaway that you could probably gather from anything in the insurance industry. That's like nail on the head. But I just want to say thank you guys for coming on today and sharing so much with the audience. And if you guys want to learn more about how you can get around people like this that are basically, I think that's about almost 2K a day in sales just about. And on one of the days you said you didn't even write business, which is insane to think about, because that's pushing 2,500, 3K a day in sales almost, where we're almost at 14K in the past week, with one of the days not being production based, right? Yeah. So if you guys want to learn from people like this in the industry, this is business that sticks and pays out, by the way. Mm-hmm. You can click the link down below to join Insurance Agent Freedom, where you get to learn from people that are doing the exact same thing day in and day out, that are focusing on growing their business, not just on taking the crown and coloring in on the right? They're actually running a business. And if you want to learn more about how to run your business as well, you can click the subscribe button down below and click that like and leave a comment to see what it was that you learned most from this video, so we can keep producing this kind of content for you. And we'll see you in the next one.